Hello and welcome to Model Maker Dave's workshop. On this video it is Workbench update. So what have I been up to? Well, I've actually been up to quite a lot really. The Honda build is coming along very nicely, as you'll see in the update video I've done for that. Most of my time has been spent trying to cast these little guys to use in the back of the Hanomag. I've kind of discovered that this thermo stuff is a little bit hit and miss, because I've made a couple of molds for these and I don't know if it's me or if it's this stuff, but sometimes they come out alright and sometimes it's a bit hit and miss, as you can see with this one. It kind of just didn't really happen. It's got some nice detail around the legs and some nice detail on the face, but it's kind of losing it here, and it's just sort of washed out in the midriff. And as for when you turn it over, it kind of gets a little bit lost. So yeah, I think for where these are going and for the amount that you're going to see of them, I think they're going to be okay. If they were going to be on a dyno somewhere out in the open where everybody's going to see them in a lot more detail, I think the route of a rubber mould or a latex mould and some resin to make better figures would be very much the route for that one. So, but onto this, I've removed the part of the bottom floor, because when these guys go in with the floor where it was, when you put them up against the seat, yeah, the feet were on the floor, but their backsides were hovering in space above the seat. So I think there might be some sort of discrepancy between what Airfix view as a 1/72nd scale kit and what Matchbox view as a 1/76 scale kit. So yeah, it's causing some fun and games, but we're getting there. It's moving along. I've also done some more work on the bricks. I've used a very small chisel to just chip away and dink and dent and rough up these bricks to give them that fallen, tumbled, worn, battered effect. The next stage will be to put some rubble dust on and generally make it look a bit messy. Kind of hoping to get some more on here, because then it means that I won't have to paint this bit. I've successfully managed to do it over here, so I don't see any reason why I won't be able to do it over there. So, and I've still got to repaint these and get them back into the same colour. But it's moving along. As for the 1/35th scale motorcycle and sidecar, well, it's still where it is now, the same as it was last week. I'm not any further forward on that. And as for the Panzer, I think this is the last time it will be on the turntable, because I need to put a drop of paint on the hatch cover, and I am going to call that one done. It's been a fun little build, and I think it does look rather good. As for this, yeah, not any further forward, and any thoughts as to what sort, if I'm going to do a dio and how I'm going to do this. So that is what's on the turntable. The other thing that I have been concentrating on is the figures that go with the sidecar, or motorcycle and sidecar. The uniforms have had touch-up paintings to cover up any areas that I've missed or have become scratched. Face and hands have got shadow flesh tones, and I'm starting to bring up the main colour of the skin tone. So that's that one. This one, he's kind of a little bit behind everybody else. I need to go over his uniform again, and hands and face are in the first stages. This guy is a little bit further forward. Hands and face are well and truly on the way. However, turning round, his personal kit is still sadly lacking any attention because I've been concentrating on doing the face and hands. I've also done a little bit more on his uniform just to tidy it up and give it an overall third coat. As for the fourth one, hands and face are getting close to finishing. It's looking better, but personal kit here for storage box and helmet have not been done, and again anything on his back has not been done any further, although his overcoat has received another coat of paint just to give it an overall finish. So we're getting closer to the end on him, but the rest are still in need of catching up. As for the few, they are no further forward. I'm not struggling with these. I've just been spending more time doing these castings of these little figures for the Hanomag. That took a little bit longer than I'd first thought, and something else that I will tell you about when I've finished here. Yeah, they still need to come off of the back burner and get finished, but I'm just giving you a quick update so that you know what's going on with those. Going back to these little guys, when casting in milliput, it's alright, it's not a problem, it's quite easy to do, but the end result is these guys are incredibly fragile. It doesn't take much to snap them or to snap a leg off. I've done that twice on two of these guys and managed to stick it back on again, but yeah, if you're doing this sort of size with milliput, be careful when you're doing a cleanup. And also, if you're using this stuff, if you haven't got any mould release, I've found that washing up liquid is a very good substitute. And when trying to fill the mould, use tiny little bits of sausages of milliput and really squeeze it in. Where's me pointer thingy gone? Oh. Ah, there it is. When pushing it in, really work it in so that it gets right into all the detail that's been captured in here. Because if you try and do it in one splodge, it won't. I never really got it to work very well. I found that putting in small amounts and building it up and really working it in gave better results than doing it as a one-off and trying to squeeze it together so that it all squidges into the nooks and crannies. So little bit and often if you're going to go that route, but as I said, if you're going to have these guys out and in the open, my suggestion is resin cast them, because you'll get better results and they will probably be a little bit more robust than this stuff. I think that's pretty much it. I think we're as up to date as I can be on what I've done so far. So I will leave you and say I will see you in the next one.